The bold and the beautiful spoilers reveal that a series of shocking events have just occurred, pushing all the characters involved into a spiral of tension and pain. The story revolves around Liam's sudden death, leading to Bill's arrest on charges of being the direct cause of this tragedy. Below is the entire development, expanded in detail, analyzing each aspect to give the audience a clearer and more dramatic view. The fateful collision. Liam died on the way to the hospital. Initial information said that Liam suffered serious injuries after a strong collision. Although the medical team, especially Finn, tried their best to save him at the scene and on the way to the hospital, all efforts were in vain. Liam breathed his last breath before he could even step into the emergency room. Liam's passing shocked everyone who knew him, especially in the context of his complicated relationship with many other characters that were still unfinished. Instead of resolving conflicts or opening a new plot, Liam suddenly left behind countless unanswered questions. Bill became the prime suspect and was arrested. As soon as the shock of Liam's death had not yet subsided, Bill was suddenly considered the most responsible person. Police Baker quickly stepped in and arrested Bill, accusing him of being behind his son's death. This was an extremely serious development for everyone. Bill was a powerful and calculating father, but being accused of killing his own son stunned public opinion. Family and friends were shocked because no one expected Bill to be involved in such a heinous crime. Bill was forced to call a lawyer to find a way to defend himself, but it seemed that all the evidence pointed to him. It is known that Bill not only faced the prospect of going to jail, but he also suffered terrible torment from within. The burden of guilt, whether it has been clarified or not, is still the biggest obsession. Did he really cause Liam's unjust death? Confused state of mind. Bill's breakdown and psychological consequences. The latest shared image shows Bill deeply immersed in torment, pondering over Liam's departure. Previously, Bill was often portrayed as a strong, powerful man who would do anything. However, the death of his son gradually caused his psychology to become unbalanced. The feeling of guilt and self-reproach for not being able to protect Liam made Bill fall into a state of extreme confusion. He began to lose sleep, become depressed, have chaotic thoughts, and even showed many signs that his mind was no longer clear. For someone who always appeared tough like Bill, this shock was the strongest blow, destroying the entire shell on the outside. Gratitude and comfort. While Bill was facing a series of storms, Luna, who had been helped by Bill to escape from prison, suddenly appeared to comfort him. It seemed that Luna wanted to repay the old favor and at the same time prove her feelings for this man. However, Luna's presence was not just a simple psychological medicine. She chose to give Bill drugs with the intention of helping him forget the pain, forget the terrifying obsessions of Liam's death. At first, Bill may have found some temporary relief from his guilt. But abusing such stimulants pushed him into a more dangerous state of insanity. From torment to mental crisis, it is undeniable that Luna wanted Bill to be comforted. But the act of giving Bill drugs to escape reality backfired. Bill gradually lost control, often panicked, had signs of hallucinations, or acted abnormally. He talked nonsense about past sins and about Liam. Sudden panic attacks in the middle of the night, screaming or smashing things. Unable to distinguish between real and fake, between family and enemies. These symptoms make people around him worried, and at the same time raise the question. Is Bill just acting to get away with it, or is he really in a pathological state? Whatever the truth, it is clear that Bill needs timely medical intervention before things get out of control. Chaotic trial. Bill causes chaos in the middle of the courtroom. The decisive moment also came when the first trial took place to judge Bill for Liam's death. The media, Liam's family, close friends, and of course Bill's lawyer were all present. Everyone was waiting to see how Bill would testify, what evidence would be presented, and most importantly, what would happen to Bill. However, the trial quickly became chaotic. Bill suddenly threw a tantrum, shouted, made irrelevant statements, or attacked the judge. The lawyer could not control the situation, tried to calm Bill down, but to no avail. The police had to intervene to maintain order, and the court even threatened to suspend the trial if Bill continued to lose control. This situation gave the judge and the jury a headache. Bill seemed to have a real mental problem, not sober enough to face the trial. Would the court decide to send Bill to a medical facility for examination and treatment before continuing the trial? Will Bill go to jail or be sent to treatment? The biggest question now is, will Bill go to jail for Liam's murder, or will he be sent to a mental hospital? The prosecution believes that Bill intentionally caused Liam's death and that his behavior at the trial was just a trick to escape punishment. They do not want Bill to take advantage of his unstable mental state to avoid punishment. The defense attorney believes that Bill is truly depressed and needs psychological treatment. Otherwise, the sentence becomes meaningless because he is not mentally competent. The public is also divided into two opinions. One group demands justice for Liam and wants Bill to pay the appropriate price. The other group asserts that Bill needs urgent medical intervention because he is truly in crisis and tormented by the sins he has committed. Gloomy future and lingering consequences regardless of the outcome of the trial, Bill still faces a gloomy life ahead. He lost Liam, the son he had a special bond with. And whether he is convicted or not, the guilt of his involvement in his son's death will haunt him forever. In addition, a series of characters are also hurt. Finn is tormented by his inability to save Liam in time. Baker and the police team are under a lot of pressure from the public, having to prove that the decision to arrest Bill was the right person and the right crime. Luna deeply regrets having accidentally pushed Bill down the path of losing control with drugs. Liam's other relatives will continue to seek justice or relieve their pain. Upcoming twists: Liam's death is just the starting point of a series of dramas that will follow. There may be more shocking details related to the real cause of the accident, potential evidence, and even Bill's behavior when he was in a state of no longer being in control of his mind. Is Bill the real culprit? Or is there a secret involved that makes people mistakenly think Bill is the killer of his son? Bill's loss of control at the trial was due to his true psychological crisis, or was there someone behind the scenes pulling the strings, taking advantage of the situation to manipulate? Luna's future is also a big question mark. How will she feel guilty for accidentally causing more pain to Bill? The answer will certainly be revealed in the next episodes. The Bold and the Beautiful has never lacked drama, and this story promises to open up situations that push the audience to the edge of curiosity and deep emotion. The key point for a big change: this series of events marks an important turning point in the plot of The Bold and the Beautiful. The event of Bill being arrested after Liam's death is not simply a criminal case, but also the collapse of a family, a tragedy that pushes all the characters into a spiral of despair and torment. While the audience is still shocked by the incident, people are also looking forward to how the film handles the ending. Will Bill be severely tried, or will he find the light in a mental hospital? In addition, will Liam's death be the trigger for many other mysteries? Everything is still ahead, promising to create breathtaking, tearful, and dramatic episodes. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers show that the drama has not stopped yet, and viewers should be ready for the next developments where justice, love, truth, and madness intertwine, transform, and swirl into an unpredictable story. In the immediate future, Bill, Luna, Finn, and all involved must face the darkest side of this tragedy to answer the question: will justice be served, or will everything sink deep into the mist of torment and pain? A series of new developments have broken out at Il Giardino restaurant, where Hope has come to find temporary shelter after a series of days of crisis of confidence. It seems that all the troubles will be somewhat reduced when she can rely on her father, Deacon, but it is here that Hope accidentally discovers a dark conspiracy related to Sheila and Luna. The tense series of events is pushing Hope into a dilemma. Will she denounce everything to save Steffi, or choose to remain silent to take revenge on those who have hurt her? A heartwarming conversation between Hope and Deacon at Il Giardino restaurant. Hope seeks out Deacon, the father who has always wanted to get closer to his daughter. In the tense atmosphere, Hope frankly shares her frustrations with Carter. Hope feels like she cannot trust anyone in her current situation, even those she once thought would understand and stand by her. Hope complains about Carter. From her perspective, Carter seems to be hiding something. Carter's distance or even his possible involvement in the schemes at Forrester makes Hope live in a constant state of insecurity. The cumulative psychological pressure, from losing trust in her family to the misunderstandings, makes Hope not want to share with anyone. Although Deacon tries to convince Hope to calm down, he also understands that his daughter is facing many changes at this time. The desire to leave Brooke may be temporary, but it may also be a decision to help Hope regain her balance. Hope definitely does not go to Brooke's house. Unlike many times before, when there was an incident, Hope often went to Brooke, the mother who always welcomed her with open arms. However, at present, Hope refuses to stay with Brooke. Maybe because there are difficult to mend rifts between her and her mother, or because she wants to prove that she can stand on her own without needing protection. The desire for independence. Hope is going through a period of exhaustion, and she fears that returning to Brooke will bring back the familiar drama in the Forrester family. Fear of being judged. Brooke is known for being overly protective of her daughter. Hope fears that if she moves in with her mother, things will get worse, and she will become the center of scrutiny from those around her. Unexpected proposal. Deacon invites Hope to stay in the same apartment. Not wanting his daughter to live here and there, Deacon suggests that Hope can temporarily stay in the apartment he owns. In fact, Deacon is also aware that Hope does not like Sheila, who is appearing next to Deacon. However, in a situation where Hope has no better place, this is the most feasible option. Deacon's heart. Despite his complicated past, Deacon always wants to mend his father-daughter relationship with Hope. Inviting her to live with him is also his way of showing that he is trying to take responsibility. Conflict with Sheila. Hope is terrified of the prospect of seeing Sheila so often. However, she has little choice but to agree. In the end, Hope reluctantly accepts the offer because she really has nowhere else to go. Deacon's apartment, or even living temporarily at Il Giardino, the restaurant that Deacon manages, becomes the safest option at the moment. Hope agrees to stay at Il Giardino, the turning point that leads to the secret for various reasons. It seems that Hope has decided to stay at Il Giardino for the time being. This may be a short-term solution to avoid conflict with Sheila too soon if she is not ready to move into an apartment with Deacon. Semi-public space. Il Giardino is not a formal residence, but it gives Hope more time to consider her future and avoid having to face Sheila too much. When secrets are easy to reveal, because it is a place where many people come and go, Illinois Giardino accidentally becomes an ideal listening point. It is here that Hope accidentally discovers Sheila and Luna's dark plot. Dark plot. Sheila and Luna's plan to kill Steffi. The unexpected incident happened when Hope discovered Sheila secretly meeting Luna, and through whispering and plotting, she realized that they were plotting to kill Steffi. According to the initial revelations, Sheila and Luna's purpose was to eliminate Steffi, thereby opening the way for both of them to have the opportunity to approach and capture the affection of Finn and the boy Hayes. Sheila always longed to be close to her biological son Finn, but was constantly pushed aside by Steffi. Eliminating Steffi would help Sheila rightfully enter the lives of Finn and Hayes. Luna has her own reasons. It could be her feelings for Finn or some other deep conspiracy. She allies with Sheila, willing to carry out ruthless plans just to achieve her personal goals. Hope accidentally overhears this plan, leaving her in a state of extreme shock. She must choose between warning Steffi or keeping quiet, perhaps even letting the incident happen as a form of revenge on those who have made her life miserable. Hope's confused state of mind. Speak out or hide. At this point, Hope has extremely conflicting thoughts. Sympathy for Steffi. Despite many conflicts, Hope and Steffi once shared an overlapping relationship in love and marriage with Liam. However, Hope understands that Steffi did not deserve such a tragic ending. Hurt and resentment, Hope may still be angry with Steffi because of past emotional conflicts. The thought of letting Steffi face the danger as a hidden revenge may flash through Hope's mind. The question, what will Hope do, becomes more tense than ever. Will she have the courage to tell Steffi, or will she hide this and let things decide for herself? Hope's revenge motive. A dangerous decision in the context of Hope's rift with many people, including Carter and the Forrester family. Letting Steffi face danger can bring Hope a certain sense of satisfaction. Some viewers even speculate that Hope is increasingly creating a cold shell, willing to stay out of the troubles of the person who hurt her. The suffering she has experienced, Hope has suffered many times from Steffi. From love affairs to work, she always has to share the halo with Steffi. The risk of condoning crime. If Hope really stays silent, she will indirectly become an accomplice to Sheila and Luna's evil plot. This means Hope will have to bear more guilt and remorse if something bad happens to Steffi. Deacon's role when the secret is exposed. Notably, Deacon may play a key role if Hope decides to share this story. Although Deacon has been Sheila's most trusted person recently, he still cannot ignore a plan to kill Steffi, whom Finn truly loves. Conflict of loyalties. Deacon has a complicated relationship with Sheila, having helped her hide. But when faced with a life, especially Steffi's, will he continue to support Sheila or betray her to save his daughter from trouble? Hope's influence. If Hope tells the whole story, Deacon may be the one to convince Sheila to give up her crazy plot or report it to the police himself. On the other hand, Deacon faces the risk of losing trust from both sides, Hope and Sheila. This is the important knot for the upcoming drama in BNB 9. The drama that follows, the impact on Steffi, Finn and Hayes. If Hope speaks up to warn Steffi, Steffi will certainly be saved from the plot, but the relationship between Steffi, Finn, Sheila, and Luna will become even more complicated. Finn will be forced to choose sides, protect his wife and children, or trust his biological mother. And Hayes, the innocent child, suddenly becomes the center of the love struggle between Sheila and Steffi. If Hope remains silent, the consequences could be much more serious. Steffi will face the risk of being attacked. In will continue to live in the illusion of a reformed Sheila until everything is revealed. The family and factional relationships in Forrester and Logan will continue to be pushed to the brink of collapse. Hope's decision the trigger for new drama. In short, Hope holds the key to preventing another tragedy in The Bold and the Beautiful. She has important information about Sheila and Luna's dark plot, but it is unclear how she will act. Hope's inner turmoil creates great appeal for the next episodes, as the audience anxiously waits to see if she will become a hero or just stand on the sidelines as an observer. Hope's choice not only determines Steffi's fate, but also affects a series of surrounding relationships, including Deacon, Sheila, Luna, and the Forrester family. Will Hope dare to throw away old resentments to save Steffi? Or will she ignore everything, seeing it as a sweet way of revenge? All promise to bring the film to a new climax where forgiveness, personal intrigue, and family affection are intertwined. The next episodes of The Bold and the Beautiful will certainly not disappoint fans, as each secret and plot is gradually revealed, leaving profound consequences for the entire cast of characters.